Hi, and welcome to my podcast. Welcome to Kitchen Conversations. My name is Mike, and I want to start by thanking you for being here. And I also want to confess that I am not a podcaster. I just want to come right out of the gate and be totally clear on that. What I am, however, is a pretty passionate pickleball player. I started playing the game, I guess, give or take about 3 years ago. And as much as I fell in love with the game, I became really inspired by the people that were playing it, by the stories of the people that were playing it. In other words, the stories behind the paddle. And I suppose that's where the thought for the podcast started to slowly brew, started to gain some traction, at least in my mind. And I thought to myself, these are stories that need to be shared. There were some of the most fascinating people telling some of the most fascinating stories. And in fact, the more people I met playing pickleball, the more I felt like a bucket of vanilla ice cream surrounded by a world of Baskin Robbins. I mean, it was that obvious to me. And hey, no regret. I love my life, but some of these people, let me tell you, incredible stories. So that's the goal of the podcast, to introduce you to some of the most interesting people I've ever met in my life and to share their stories behind the paddle. We kick things off this coming Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with Patty Hunter Murphy. Now, Patty was an incredible first guest for me. He is the founder of Senior Pickleball Tips. Now, what that is a Facebook group page that Patty had started after he fell in love with the game a couple years ago. And the goal for him was to simply share his love for this game he had found with his friend group, with his community, if you will. Well, let me tell you, it worked, and it worked in a big way, and in a far bigger way than Patty had ever envisioned. When we recorded this podcast with Patty just a couple weeks ago, he had 135,000 people following his page or subscribing or members of, however you want to define that. But as of this morning, just a couple weeks later, he's closing in on 140,000 people. It's an incredible pickleball community, and I'm so touched that Patty was willing to sit down with me, with a guy that's never done a podcast, and in fact didn't even have a podcast at that point, and have a nice chat with me. So I will forever be grateful to Patty for doing that. The second goal of my podcast is to inspire just one person per episode to pick up a paddle, to give this game a try. And maybe that's you. Maybe you're that person that's been thinking about it. You've got friends that are playing it. You'd like to give it a try. Well, I hope our podcast, this podcast, in some small way, inspires you to do just that. It is a game that will change your life, and it's a game that you will love, I promise. So that aside, go easy on me, but I'm hoping you come back on Thursday. Check out a couple of the first episodes. We're going to drop Patty initially, with a couple more following shortly thereafter. And we have got at least 20 done, recorded, ready to go, and another 20 or 25 very interesting guests ready to go, ready to sit down, and ready to have a conversation about the game of pickleball. So thank you again for being here. I appreciate it. I'd love to hear your feedback, so give it to me, but go easy, but give it to me nonetheless. And thanks again. This could be some fun, and I hope it is. So thank you.